Lord Brahma saw, he was given the in charge of Srishti. It was the universe was full of water and wind. He was not able to do anything. So he meditated on Lord Krishna for around 100 years. For 100 years. This is 100 years in the lifetime of Brahma. So in our calculation, it is more than 3 billion years. So that's a big calculation. I'm not going to go into that now. So he was meditating on Lord Krishna, and after meditating on Lord Krishna, then he was given the understanding. Brahma was able to absorb the wind, and after he was able to absorb the wind, he was able to see that he was in a lotus petal, and he went into the lotus petal and then spreaded himself, and from there the creation, all this whatever we saw in the last chapter, it starts. Now this chapter is about time, and just to give a brief context, if we remember, if we can recollect, in the last chapter, there was a question by Vidura about the time. This chapter is an answer, is a response of Maitreya to Vidura, and this question is coming in the 10th chapter. So I just wanted to go through this for a minute so that we all understand the context behind this whole chapter. So this is the 10th chapter of the previous 10th shloka of the previous chapter, which you have all already seen. It says, Vidura uvacha yatatha bahurupasya hareradbhuta karmanaha kalakyam lakshanam brahman yathavarnayana prabho. Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O my lord, O greatly learned sage, kindly describe eternal time, which is another form of the Supreme Lord, the wonderful actor. What are the symptoms of that eternal time? Please describe to them in detail. So this particular chapter is basically response of is the answer of Maitreya to the question of Vidura, and this entire chapter is going to talk about time, and we are going to cover the first 5 shlokas. So let us start with pranam mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiryayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So the objective of chanting the pranam mantra is a prayer, our prayer to the Lord for two things. I believe I explained in the last class itself, but just for the benefit of everyone, I'm repeating it again. So the first part of the prayer is that we are praying to the Lord to give us the intelligence by which we understand the shlokas which we are going to read today, which we are going to go through today. Second, to give us the determination by which we can implement the instructions in those shlokas. So we will start with the first shloka. Maitreya uvacha charama sadvisheshanam aneko samyuta sada अनेको संयुतः सदा परमाणु सविज्ञेयो नृणामैक्यभ्रमो यतः मैत्रेय उवाच चरमसद्विशेषाणाम् अनेको संयुतः सदा परमाणु सविज्ञेयो नृणामैक्य ब्रह्मो यतः. Hare Krishna. I will now request in the order of raising the hands, Shobha Mataji to
Dandavat
read
Pranam
the
Prabhuji.
yes Mataji to read the synonyms and translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jagatguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maitreya Uvacha, Maitreya said, Charamaha, ultimate, Sat effect, Visheshanam, symptoms, Anekaha, innumerable, Asamyutaha, unmixed, Sada, always, Parama Anuha, atom, Saha, that Vigneha should be understood, Rinam, of men, Aikya, oneness, Brahmaha, mistaken, Yataha, from which, translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, the material manifestation, ultimate particle which is indivisible and not formed into a body, is called the atom. It exists always as an invisible identity. Even after the dissolution of all forms, the material body is but a combination of such atoms, but it is misunderstood by the common man. Do I need to read the purport, Prabhuji?
No, Mataji, I will. We will give opportunity to next one. So thank you so much, Mataji. So this.
Dandavat Pranam Haribol. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So this shloka is explaining about the atom, and it's very nicely telling that it is the lowest and it is an invisible identity. And we will go through the purport also. Can I request Anasuya Mataji to read the purport? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, that was purport
Yes,
by
Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The atomic description of the Shrimad Bhagavatam is almost the same as the modern science of atomism. And this is further described in the Paramanu Vada of Canada. In modern science also, the atom is accepted as the ultimate indivisible practice of which the universe is composed. Srimad Bhagavatam is the full text of all descriptions of knowledge, including the theory of atomism. The atom is the minute, subtle form of eternal time. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Prabhupada is explaining that the description of atom in Srimad Bhagavatam is the same as modern science. So, this is something which is very clear, as it came out from the explanation also, so that it is the lowest, means the smallest particle, which is which is invisible and indivisible and invisible. But it is kind of misunderstood, which is going to be explained in the coming shlokas. Let us go to the next shloka, shloka number 2. 3.11.2. सत एव पदार्थस्य स्वरूप अवस्थितस्य यत् कैवल्यं परममहान् अविशेषो निरन्तरः सत एव पदार्थस्य स्वरूप अवस्थितस्य यत् कैवल्यं परममहान् Avishesho Nirantaraha. So this shloka does not have any purport. So I request Prashanti Mataji to read the synonyms and the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam.
Yes,
Synonym
Mataji.
of the effective manifestation, eva certainly, padarthasya of physical body, swarupa avastistasya, staying in the same form even to the time of dissolution, yet that which Kaivalyam, oneness, Parama, the supreme, Mahan, unlimited, Avisheshaha, forms, Nirantaraha, eternally. Translation by Prabhat ki Jai. Atoms are the ultimate state of the manifest universe. When they stay in their own forms without forming different bodies, they are called the unlimited oneness. They are certainly different bodies in physical forms, but the atoms themselves form the complete manifestation. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Danvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, so we have to understand that atoms, it is explained in the shloka that they are staying in their own forms, even though they may be in different bodies. And the combination of all the atoms is the whole manifestation. So this is actually equivalent to the Buddhist concept of nirvana. So in the first chapter of in the first canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, it is explained that the Lord exists at three different levels. One is the Brahman level, where he is manifest throughout the universe. Second is the Paramatma level, where he is manifest inside our hearts, inside the heart of each and every living entity as Paramatma. And the third, he is existing as Bhagavan, Lord, as Bhagavan the Lord in Golokadam and in Vaikuntadam. So we need to understand that the Lord exists in three different manifestations, in three different stages. So this stage, what we are seeing, this is the first two shlokas, is talking about the concept of Parama Anu. Anu means the smallest, Parama means supreme. Parama Anu means the manifestation of Lord Krishna in the smallest form. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead's manifestation in the smallest form. That is what is called as Paramanu. This is basically the Brahman manifestation, that the Lord is present all over the world. So we would all have heard this Kankan mein Bhagavan hai. So yes, this is one level of understanding. So we should be careful that this is not the only manifestation. This is one of the manifestation. This is a common misunderstanding. Kankan mein Bhagavan means people misinterpret that he is only impersonal. No, this is one of the three manifestations of Lord Krishna, and it is told very clearly in the first canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam. You must all have read through that. Since we have come to the third canto, I just wanted to say the shloka so that you all can recollect that. Vadanti tat tattvavidah tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sabdyate. Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sabdyate. Brahmeti, Brahman, the universal manifestation, is present all across, is all pervading. Paramatmeti is present inside each and every living entity as a Paramatma, the super soul. Bhagavan is present as Lord Bhagavan in the Golokadam and in Vaikuntadam. What is the difference between the presence of Lord Krishna in Vaikuntadam and in Golokadam? I think you must all have heard about this in so many lectures. Anybody would like to say Hare Krishna? the physical manifestation of the Lord in Golokadam and Vaikuntadam. So in Vaikuntadam, he is present as a respectful, in the respectful manifestation. So we can serve the Lord only in a way of dasya bhava. So we cannot be friends or any other thing. It is fully respect. So that is Vaikuntha, Narayana. He is there in the form of Narayana. In Goloka Vrindavan, Golokadam, he is there as Lord Krishna. There you can worship him in all the 12 rasas, Madhurya Bhav, Sakya Bhav, Shanta Bhav, whatever it is, the monkeys, the grass, the trees in Golokadam, they are in Shanta Bhav. They are just staying there just to see Lord Krishna. That is enough for them, nothing else. So that is the difference between the physical manifestation of the Lord in Golokadam and in Vaikuntha Dham. So this is the so basically the first two shlokas are talking about the Paramanu concept, and then we need to understand that this is the universal manifestation of the Lord, Brahman manifestation of the Lord, which is the impersonal manifestation. But we also need to bear in mind that that is not the only manifestation, that is one of the three manifestations. We need to be very clear on that. Let us move to the next shloka, shloka number 3. 3.11.3. Evam kalopi anumitah. Evam kalopi anumitah. Saukshmaye staulye cha sattama. Saukshmaye staulye cha sattama. Samstana bhuktya bhagavan. Samstana bhuktya bhagavan. Avyakto vyakta bhuk vibhuhu. Avyakto vyakta bhuk vibhuhu. Evam kalopi anumitah. Saukshmye staulye cha sattama. Samstana bhuktya bhagavan. Avyakto vyakta bhuk vibhuhu. So, Hare Krishna, there is no purport in the shloka. I will request Sudha Mataji to read the synonyms and translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams.
Yes,
Synonyms:
Mataji.
Evam, thus, Kala, time, Api, also, Anumita, measured, Saukshme, in the subtle, Staulye, in the gross forms, Cha, also, Sattama, O best, Samsthana, combinations of the atoms, Bhuktya, by the motion, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Avyakta, unmanifested, Vyakta, Bhuk, controlling all physical movement, Vibhu, the great potential. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. One can estimate time by measuring the movement of the atomic combination of bodies. Time is the potency of the Almighty Personality of Godhead, Hari, who controls all physical movement, although he is not visible in the physical world. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So, this is, he is going to explain time in the concept of space. So, this is different from our understanding. So, let us see what is that concept. So, this shloka is telling that we can estimate time by measuring the movement of the atomic combination of bodies. Time is the potency of the Almighty Personality of Godhead, Hari, who controls all physical movement, although he is not visible in the physical world. So the time is the potency of it is the potency of Lord Krishna. So there are several places in the Shrimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita where it is very clearly told that time is actually the manifestation of the energy of Lord Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, shloka number 30, Lord Krishna says, Kala Kalayatamaham. So I am time. And he says that time is the ultimate destroyer. And even in the next chapter, which is the 11th chapter, which is talking about the universal form of the Lord, in the 32nd shloka, 11th chapter, shloka number 32, Lord Krishna says, Kalosmi aham, I am time. And even in Bhagavatam also, it is telling in several places that Lord Krishna is time himself. So that is the reason why it is again telling that when we talk about time, we also need to understand that time is the energy of the Lord. Let us go into the next shloka, which is shloka number 4.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, this potency is transcendental energy, Prabhuji, or what, Prabhuji?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, it is a transcendental energy. So
Or Maya,
it is
controlled
the
by Maya.
energy is transcendental, and the way time is manifested is different, and the concept of time is not there in the spiritual world. It is there in the material world, because in the material world everything is relative, and in the spiritual world there is no concept of time. So it is in the material world, it is the energy of the Lord Krishna. So we can see those. We can go through these two shlokas, Mataji, when you have time. The 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, shloka number 30, and the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, shloka number 32, which is detailing in which is in very good detail as to how time is a transcendental energy of Lord Krishna.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So we are in the let us go to the next shloka number 4. Sakala Paramanurvai, Sakala Paramanurvai, Yo Bhungte Paramanutam, Yo Bhungte Paramanutam, Sato Visesha Bhugyastu, Sato Visesha Bhugyastu, Sakala Paramo Mahan, Sakala Paramo Mahan, Sakala Paramanurvai, Yo Bhungte Paramanutam, Sato Visesha Bhugyastu, Sakala Paramo Mahan. So this shloka has purport also. So I would request Navakishori Mataji to read the synonyms and translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji.
Sah, that, Kalah, eternal time, Param, Anuha, atomic, Vai, certainly, Yah, which Bhugante passes through Parama Anutam, the space of an atom, Sataha, of the entire aggregate, Avishesha Bhuga, passing through the non-dual exhibition. Yah tu which Saha, that, Kalaha, time, Paramaha, the Supreme, Mahan, the Great. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Atomic time is measured according to its covering a particular atomic space. That time which covers the unmanifest aggregate of atoms is called the Great Time. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. So we all know time in a different way, just like the basic this thing, minutes, hours, and all those things. So, but here it is going to be explained time in the concept of moving in the time in the concept of space. So in the first two shlokas, it was explained about Paramanu, and here it is telling that this shloka is telling that the time is actually measured based upon is measured with relate to space. So let us go through the purport. I will request Anushri Mataji to read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Srila Prabhupada
Yes,
ki jai.
Mataji.
Time and space are two correlative terms. Time is measured in terms of its covering a certain space of atoms. Standard time is calculated in terms of the movement of the sun. The time covered by the sun in passing over an atom is calculated as atomic time. The greatest time of all covers the entire existence of the non-dual manifestation. All the planets rotate and cover space, and space is calculated in terms of atoms. Every planet has its particular orbit for rotating, in which it moves without deviation, and similarly the sun has its orbit. The complete calculation of the time of creation, maintenance, and dissolution, measured in terms of the circulation of the total planetary systems until the end of creation, is known as the supreme Kala. Dandvat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So basically, Prabhupada very nicely explains that time can actually be measured in terms of space. So the time taken by the sun in passing through the space is taken as atomic time. And based on that, all other time can be calculated. So there are basically, as far as the cosmic manifestation is concerned, from a material perspective, there are two theories. One is a theory which is centered around the sun. It is called as heliocentric theory. So that theory, according to that theory, the sun is the center, and then all the other planets move around that. The second is the geocentric theory. And according to the geocentric theory, the Earth is considered stationary and all the planets are moving around the sun. But later it was found out that Earth is also not stationary. So Shrimad Bhagavatam, here it is giving the correct explanation that the time is actually measured by the terms of space. And it is told that the time covered by the sun in passing over one atom is called as atomic time. And the time taken for it, all the planets rotate and cover space. So each and every planet is rotating, and then it is covering space. And then the time, the time at which each and every planet is covering is different. It is according to its own speed. So that is what it is telling. Each planet has its particular orbit for rotating, in which it moves without deviation. And similarly, the sun also has its orbit. The complete calculation of the time is measured in terms of the circulation of total planetary systems until the end of the creation. So this is a very big discussion. So this talks about the yugas, and then it talks about the different pralayas and all those things. In the next shloka, we are going to see the definition of the smallest particle, the smallest division of time. So in the first two shlokas, we talked about the shlokas were talking about Paramanu, the smallest level of the atom, the smallest indivisible and invisible item, which is called as the atom. The next two shlokas, which is shloka number 3 and 4, is explaining that time is actually measured with relative to space, with relative to how a particular thing crosses a particular space. So how exactly it is going to be measured? Sorry, what is the lowest, smallest point unit of time? that is going to be explained in the next shloka. Shloka number 4, which is also the last shloka which we are going to cover today. Shloka number 3.11.5. Anurdvau paramanu syat. Anurdvau paramanu syat. Trasarenustraya smritaha. Trasarenustraya smritaha. Jalarka rasmi avagataha. Jalarka rasmi avagataha. Kavam evanupatam agat. Kam evanupatam agat. Anurdvau paramanu syat. Trasarenustraya smritaha. Jalarka rasmi avagataha. Kam evanupatam agat. Hare Krishna. So this shloka has purport also. So I will now request Anasuya Mataji, who has raised her hand. Okay, 1 minute, Mataji. I will give you the opportunity to read the purport
Okay, Prabhuji.
for the shloka and the translation. Synonyms and translation, I request Divya Mataji to read the synonyms and translation. Hare Krishna. Divya Mataji, I can see that your hand is raised. Would you like to read the
Okay,
synonyms and translation? Hare Krishna.
Anurdvava paramane manusyaat trasenasтрaya स्मृतः जलारकसमि अवगतः काम एव नुपतं पतन गत अगत. Translation synonyms must read synonyms, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Anu, double atom, dvayu, 2, paramanu, atoms, syat, become, trasenu, hexatom, 3, smrata, considered, jala arkha, of sunshine through the holes of a window screen, rasmi, by the rays, avagataha, can be known, come ever, towards the sky, anupatam agat, going up. Please scroll up, Prabhuji. Please scroll up. The translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The division of gross time is calculated as follows. 2 atoms make 1 double atom and 3 double atoms make 1 hexatom. This hexatom is visible in the sunshine which enters through the holes of a window screen. One can clearly see that the hexatom goes up towards the sky. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So this is very nicely explained as to the smallest, what exactly is the atomic, the smallest division of time. So it says that we saw that atom in the first shloka, which is the smallest division. So 2 atoms, they are making 1 double atom. And then 3 double atoms are making 1 hexatom, trasarenu. That's the word coming in the shloka. And so hexatom, which is basically 6 atoms, this is what we are able to see when there is a hole in the window screen, the sunshine coming inside. So this is actually, it is having hexatoms. It is not 1 atom. And we will be able to see that it is going all up towards the sky. So I will request Anasuya Mataji to read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Purport by
Yes,
Srila
Mataji.
Prabhupada ki jai. The atom is described as an invisible particle, but when 6 such atoms combine together, they are called a trasharenu, and this is visible in the sunshine pouring through the holes of a window screen. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So very nicely it is explaining that the smallest thing which is visible to our eyes. So it was very clearly explained in the first shloka 3.11.1, that we cannot see the atom, which is the smallest, is indivisible and it cannot be seen, invisible also. So in this shloka, he is explaining what can be seen. 6 atoms put together, which is called as hexatom, is the one which can be seen. So now, in the shlokas which are going to come in the next, after this, it will be explained as to how, based on the movement of these hexatoms, how time can be measured. This is what is going to be described in the upcoming shlokas. So what is the importance of time? So since we are discussing about time here, so we need to understand that how important is time. So let us try to understand with a few examples. So let us say that if someone asks, do you want to be very rich? Do you want to be very, very beautiful? Or do you want to be very strong? Or do you want to be very famous? So naturally, our answer would be yes. After we answer, let us say that we answer yes. And then someone asks, is it okay that you will be the richest person on this universe for 15 minutes? The most beautiful women in the earth for 15 minutes. What will be our response? Our response will naturally be no. So we need to understand that the experience of this life depends on the concept of time. If there is something which is there only for a fleeting moment, we all of us don't want it. So every experience can be valued with respect to time. When we are bored, every minute appears to be every minute appears to be hours. For example, our children are in somewhere else, or our spouse has gone somewhere. Let us say that our children is going to come from USA to Bangalore or Chennai, wherever it is, tomorrow morning. So from today till tomorrow morning, how the time goes, we all know that every minute seems like 1 hour, it never passes. But when we are along with them, let us say the same time, when we are along with them, it just flies. Time just flies. It feels like 1 hour is like 1 second. So we all need to understand there are two things. One is that our life, our experience is valuable only when it is understood with relation to time, number one. Number two, our experience, the way in which we experience things is also based on time. The experience, the way in which we see time is also depending on our experience. So both are interconnected. And Prabhupada always used to say that we are in an emergency. So what is the emergency? The emergency is that we don't know as to how long we are going to stay. But before our stay finishes, we need to ensure that we do whatever we can in terms of devotional service, so that as Lord says in 8.5, that we remember Lord Krishna when we leave this body. So that is the emergency. So we all think that we have enough time. I am now 35, 40, Prabhu, what is it that you are talking about? I still have around 30 plus years. So I also pray to the Lord that all of us have a long life so that we do as much devotional service. But much as we like, we cannot predict. So it is very nicely said in the you are all going to read it. It is coming in the 4th canto. I have just tell it is coming in the 27th chapter of the 4th canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, where it is talking about Kala Kanya. Kala Kanya is basically time personified. And then it says that the daughter of Kala Kanya is Jara, which means Jara means old age. So it says in a metaphoric, idiomatic way. It is a very nice chapter. So when you see, I am not going to jump the gun now. So it is coming the 4th canto, 27th chapter. So Kala Kanya, and it says that Jara, old age, is the daughter of time, is the daughter of Kala Kanya. Why it is said so? We need to understand that before we realize the old age comes. But when it comes, we find it very difficult to accept. So when our hair turns silver, salt and pepper, like how I am now. So mine is more salt and less pepper. So there are different ways in which it manifests. All of you know that. So the point to understand is that we find it very difficult to accept. There's a movie of Amitabh Bachchan also, Buddha Hoga Tera Baap. So that is our overall the way in which we are in a mode of denial. So we need to understand that Srila Prabhupada, this thing that he said that we are in an emergency. So within this span what we have, we need to engage in devotional service, and we just need to drink Srimad Bhagavatam. We need to be in the association of devotees as much as possible, so that we remember Lord Krishna when we leave this body. There's a shloka by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, which was taken by one of the Damodar Desh Yatra senior devotees, Ananta Kumar Prabhu. The shloka says, Dinani tava swalpani bahu vijnani tanyapi ataha cheta sayannena Bibaha rasam bibata bhagavatam rasa pibaha rasam pibaha bhagavatam rasam pibaha. Dinani tava swalpani. Our days are numbered. Bahu vijnani tanyapi. In our limited days, we have so many disturbances. This commitment, this anxiety, that anxiety. Ataha chetaha sayannena. Because of that, ataha, because our time is limited, in that limited time, because we have so many limitations, ataha chetaha means chetana, our consciousness. Rasam bhagavatam pibaha. Let us change our consciousness by constantly drinking the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I believe this is exactly what all of you are doing in a very nice way, under leadership of Narayani Mataji. So the essence of this 5 shlokas is the importance of time, and the time is also the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. And the first 2 shlokas is talking about Paramanu, which is the lowest form of the atom in which Lord Krishna is present. And then the next shlokas are talking about the smallest, what is the smallest form which we can see, which is the hexatom, Trasarenu. And in the upcoming shlokas, it is going to be explained as to how the time can be measured in terms of the movement of this hexatom. So the relevance of that is that we all, let us say that what is the highest concept of time we know? Let us say millennium. So the millennium has so many years. Years has so many months. Months has so many days. Days has so many hours. Hours has so many minutes. Minutes have so many seconds. So, but what is a second? So we need to understand that that is going to be explained in the upcoming shlokas. So with that, I stop with today's class. So I would request devotees, if anybody has any comments or doubts, we can have for 5 minutes. And after that, we can talk for about 5 minutes about Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Okay, I will do one thing. We will talk about Srila Prabhupada for 5 minutes, and then we will take the question and answers. So today is the 46th disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya. So he's a ocean of qualities. So I am going to talk about his pastime at what he did at the time of his disappearance. So he, even when he was about to leave, he did not just take rest. He did not sit around and ask devotees to bring him hot water, bring him milk, bring him apple, all those things. No. In his bed, on a daily basis, he was giving instructions. He was answering doubts. He was responding to letters which came from different part of the world. So we all know that in 1977, there was no mail, SMS, WhatsApp, or whatever it is. So there used to be letters coming from different parts of the world. And in addition to that, there were also questions. And he was giving lectures in audio form. And these lectures were recorded in audio form. And then it was somehow recorded as cassettes. And then those days we didn't have a CD or USB. They had those cassettes, and those cassettes, and those, I think those, I believe those days they had the big gramophone or whatever it is. So it was recorded in those. Copies were made and shipped to different places all over the world. So that was the way in which Srila Prabhupada even left his body. So that is a consciousness that we need to be at any point of time. So we call him as the Bhishma Pitamaha of ISKCON. So there's a shloka which comes in the Shrimad Bhagavatam, second chapter, second canto, first chapter, shloka number, I think the shloka number 6. My memory is not really good, but still we will check. So it talks about what is considered as the perfection of human life. If we want to understand whether we have lived our life perfectly, what is the benchmark? So it says, Etavam Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janma Labha Para Pumsam Ante Narayana Smritihi. The highest perfection of human life achieved by either complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. So if we want to find out that if I have lived my life perfectly, the only way to understand that is that if you are able to remember Lord at the end of the life. So this is exactly the lesson, the instruction which has been given by Srila Prabhupada when he was leaving this body. So we need to understand that the word which we are using is disappearance. When Uddhava went to Prabhasha Kshetra, Lord Krishna went to Prabhasha Kshetra and instructed Uddhava before leaving the planet. And from Dwaraka, Arjuna went on behalf of the Pandavas to Uddhava and then came to know that Lord Krishna had left. When he came back and the Pandavas under the leadership of Yudhishthira Maharaj were very anxious, he said that like the disappearance of the sun, like the setting of the sun, Lord Krishna has disappeared from this planet. So he used the word disappearance, which means when the sun sets in one place, it is not that the sun is no longer there. The sun is visible in some other place. So Lord Krishna's pastimes are Nitya Lila. It is happening in all the places. So Lord Srila Prabhupada is explained as Sakti Avesh Avatar. So his pastimes are happening in some other planet. So he has disappeared from this planet, but his pastimes are happening in some other planet. So we need to understand that he's present in the books. He's present in the instructions. And if we need to glorify Srila Prabhupada today, we don't need to say Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All we need to do is that we need to say that Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What I meant is that the most important thing is that we need to follow his instructions. And even at the time of his disappearance, he gave the instruction of always remembering Krishna. Smartavya satatam Vishnu, vismartavyam na jatu se. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Evam kinkaraha. All other principles are slaves to the above two principles. Hare Krishna. This is one of the most important instructions. One of the important messages which he has indirectly delivered even at the time of his disappearance. So this was one of his pastime in disappearance. So I will conclude today's class with that because time is also up. So I again thank all the devotees for patiently listening to me and enthusiastically participating. So I also saw the messages in the chat which has come across mentioning the shloka number and also the bhava in which we can associate with the Lord. And thanks to Narayani Mataji for giving me the opportunity to talk about Shrimad Bhagavatam, to talk about the pastimes of the Lord, and last but not the least, to talk about Srila Prabhupada. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So if anybody has any comments, please feel free to share. Anybody wants to add anything and any doubts, please feel free to ask. By the mercy of Lord Krishna, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all the senior acharyas, we will try to understand. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for making these 5 shlokas, giving such a simple explanation of these 5 shlokas, which look so difficult. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Padma Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna, yeah. Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
This Bhakti Vinod Thakur shloka. Where do you find that, Prabhuji?
I need to check, Mataji. I'm not sure. He has made several books. There's a book called Sharanagati. I'm not remembering whether it is coming in that. Or there are some books about, there is a book also called Chaitanya Manjusha and Chaitanya Manjari. I will do one thing. I will find out which book the shloka is coming, and I will send it to that. And more importantly, I will type the shloka itself and then send it, so that Mataji can share to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes, I think that's a better idea, Prabhuji, because sometimes certain books are not available in the temple. Even the
Yes.
Sharanagati, yeah, I look for the book, I couldn't find. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Any other question? If there's no question, then I will request Sunita Mataji to show her altar because she requested yesterday. And Janaki Mataji, are you there? If Janaki Mataji is not there, then someone else can sing Damodar Ashtakam. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, actually, we do Damodar Aarti in this Damodar month, so virtual Aarti. But yeah, so Prabhu, if
Yes,
it's okay,
Mataji.
you can leave, or you may be here.
Yeah,
Means
yeah,
as
yeah.
per,
Thank you, Mataji, and thank you to all devotees
thank you so
for
much,
giving me
Prabhu.
this opportunity. Hare Krishna. I am
Hare
taking
Krishna,
this
Prabhuji.
thing your leave. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu,
Thank
we'll
you,
do Vaishnav
Prabhuji.
Pranam
Dandavat
mantra.
pranam. Hare Krishna.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Hare Krishna.
kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam
Pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo
Thank
Vaishnavebhyo
you,
namo
Om
namo.
Bhagavan
Koti
Krishna.
Vaishnava
Krishna Prabhupada ki
Gita
jai.
Srila
Prabhupada
Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagwan Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. So, Sunita C. Mataji, na? Sunita Mataji, are you there? Sunita?
Yes, Mataji, I am there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mataji, you can share your screen. Sorry, switch on your video. Sorry. Yeah. Mataji. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Nice altar. Hari Bol. And who will sing today? I think
Hare
Janaki
Krishna.
Mataji hasn't joined.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I'll sing, Mataji.
Yeah, Sunita Mataji. So both Sunita Matajis are in service today.
Hare Krishna.
Not able to see.
Wait, Mataji. Wait. Sunita.
Okay, now we can. Okay, Mataji, now we can see.
Yeah.
This is not my altar. Wait, just.
Oh, okay.
Her face is.
Yeah. No, Mataji, she has put a virtual background. That's why.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Start video.
Yeah, yes, Mataji.
Are you able to?
No. Again, it's the same thing, Mataji.
Flip
Again,
the camera,
we can
Mataji. We are able to see you, but just flip the camera, Mataji.
You're covering the temple, Mataji.
Just click on the camera, Mataji, so that we will be able to see.
Yes. Hari Bol, Ganatai ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, Sunita Mataji, you can sing.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Namami Param Sachidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabhiyo Lokhaladhavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Dhritya Gopya Rudantam Muhurnetra Yugmam Rajantam Karambhoja Yugmena Satanka Netram मुहुश्वासकं पात्रिरेखाङ्ककण्ठा स्थितग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम् इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् तदीयेषिताग्नेषु भक्तैर्जितत्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशादतिः
idam te vapurnatha gopala balam sada me manasya virastam kimanye idam te mukhambojam atyanta nilai vrutam kuntalai snigdha raktaischa gopya मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्या विरास्तामलं लक्ष्यलाभै नमो देवदामोदर अनन्त विष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःख जलाभिमग्नं कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदिनं बतानु गृहाणि क्षमामाद्यं मेधक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमूर्त्यैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्ते दाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोधरायाथ विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामो राधे जय दामोदरा जय दामोदरा दामोदरा जय दामोदरा जय दामोदरा जय दामोदरा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरे कृष्णा जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्णा
Shri Shri Radha
Thank you,
Damodar
Prabhu.
ki jai, Damodar Ashtakam ki jai, Damodar Maas ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Sunita Mataji. Thank you both the Sunita Matajis for singing and showing your altar. Hare Krishna. So we will end the session here, and then on Monday once again we will meet on this Zoom meeting. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
हरे बोल
Hare Krishna. Happy weekend. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much.
So much.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dada Pranam.
I'm ending the